So this is G major broken chord with the right hand. Again, put black dots on the notes that I need to play to remind me, and you can see very clearly now the shaping. 1, 3 and 5 of a scale, so one interval of a third, second interval of a third. That's the first. That's a group of first 3 notes. So that will be G, B, D. Then we're moving up to the second note of those 3. That becomes our first note, which is the B. And then again we've got B, D, G. So between the B and the G we've got a third interval, and then between the D and the G there's a fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, because we've got an F sharp in G major. So we play G, B, D, go back to the B. B, D with your finger 2, 5 on the G, and then we're coming up to the next one, next group, which will be the last of the 3, the first root position, which will be the D, D, G, B, and then back to G. So I'll do that all the way through now. 1, 2, 3. G, B, D. B, D, G. D, G, B, G, 2, 3. Wait a little while on there before you go back up to the B. Okay, so that's ascending. We're counting 3s again. G, B, D. B, D, G. D, G, B, G, 2, 3. So I'll count a bar in and then we'll come in after 3. Well, I'll count 2 bars in actually. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. G, B, D, B, D, G, D, G, B, 2, 3. So that's the ascending. Now, of course, we've got to come back down, and by then we start on the B. So we go back from the G to the B. So B, G, D. And so then we've got the third at the top, and then the fourth interval. Coming back down again, we've got the fourth as our first interval. G, D, B. And then finally, D, B, G, D. So I'll do that from the top, and we'll count in 3, 1, 2, 3. B, D, G, D, G, D, B, D, B, G, back to D, 2, 3. So I hope by putting the dots on it makes it a little bit easier to see which notes you have to play, and where the larger interval is. You will have to adjust your fingers accordingly on that bigger interval, because you probably won't be able to stretch too much on the fingering, on the usual fingering between 1, 3 and 5. So you may have to put your fourth there, whichever's more comfortable. Don't think that one's so much of a problem. That one maybe, you may want to put your finger 2 on that one. So block playing those chords from the beginning would be first, root position, and first position, second position, and then coming down, second position, first position with my finger 2 on the D, root position. And now I'm going to play ascending and descending as a G major broken chord, and I'll count 2 bars in. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. G, B, D, B, D, G, D, G, B, G, 2, 3, back to B, B, G, D, G, D, B, D, B, G, 2, 3. Remember to hold that note at the top. to give it a lovely shaping. That's what we want to create. So that pattern is what we use. So if we want to start it on a different note, then that would still be the same pattern of notes that we use, the first, the third and the fifth note of the G major scale.